Welcome, everyone. I'm really glad you're here. My name is Deborah Nevarez, and I'm a student wellness intern at CUNY SPH. I created this session because so many graduate students are juggling multiple responsibilities, academics, work, caregiving, family, and everything else life throws at us. It can feel overwhelming, and it's easy to think you're the only one struggling, but you're not. Today, we're going to talk about what work life balance actually means, why it's so hard to maintain, and practical strategies you can start using right away. My goal is to give you tools that feel realistic, flexible, and supportive, not another set of expectations to add to your plate. By the end of this webinar, my hope is that you'll walk away with a clear sense of what balance looks like for you and a few small steps you can take this week to feel more grounded and in control. Before we dive in, here's a quick overview of what we'll cover today. First, we'll talk about what balance actually is and what it is not. Many people imagine balance as something you achieve once and then maintain forever. But that's not how real life works. As the slide says, balance isn't something you achieve once, it shifts as your responsibilities, energy, and circumstances change. I'll share a little bit about myself and why this topic matters to me. Like many of you, I've had to navigate school, work, and personal responsibilities at the same time. I know firsthand how easy it is to feel stretched thin. As a graduate student, a parent, and a caregiver for my elderly parents, I navigate multiple responsibilities that shape my perspective and motivation. Throughout this session, I'll offer strategies that are practical and adaptable. You don't need to overhaul your entire life. Small intentional changes can make a big difference. Let's start with a shared definition. Work-life balance isn't about splitting your time evenly between everything you do. It's about managing your responsibilities in a way that protects your mental, emotional, and physical health. Balance looks different for everyone. What feels manageable for you might feel overwhelming for someone else, and vice versa. For one student, taking 3 classes while working part-time feels manageable. For another, even one class can feel overwhelming when they're juggling parenting or caregiving responsibilities. And what works for you this semester might not work next semester, and that's normal. The key is recognizing that balance is personal, flexible, and always evolving. Instead of aiming for perfection, aim for awareness, noticing when things feel off, and making small adjustments before stress builds. So why does balance matter? When things are out of balance, it affects every part of your life, such as mental health, academic performance, work productivity, and relationships. When you're overwhelmed, it's harder to focus, harder to retain information, and harder to show up fully in your personal life. You might notice irritability, fatigue, or feeling disconnected from things you enjoy. Research shows that stress impairs key brain regions involved in attention, working, memory, and emotional regulation, making it more difficult to learn, concentrate, and manage daily responsibilities. The important thing is recognizing imbalance early. Recognizing imbalance early helps make small adjustments before stress builds. You don't have to wait until you're burned out to make changes. Many graduate students juggle multiple roles: student, employee, caregiver, partner, friend. Feeling stretched thin is common. It's not a personal failure. That's such an important message. Research consistently shows that students who work while in school report higher stress, fatigue, and burnout, especially when working long hours. This isn't about individual weakness, it's about the reality of competing demands. Part of creating balance is acknowledging these pressures without blaming yourself. You're doing a lot, and it makes sense that you struggle. Balance is challenging because so many factors are outside of your control. Work schedules, family responsibilities, academic deadlines, financial pressure, and social expectations all shape our day to day life. A graduate student might plan to spend the evening working on a major assignment, but a last minute shift at work, a child's issue, or an unexpected need for an elderly parent completely reshapes that day, leaving little time or energy for academic tasks. The importance of understanding these influences can help you approach yourself with compassion rather than self criticism. When you recognize that external pressures play a major role, it becomes easier to let go of guilt and focus on what is within your control, like boundaries, priorities, and small habits. Now, let's talk about boundaries. Boundaries are one of the most powerful tools for creating balance. Boundaries aren't about shutting people out, they're about protecting your time, energy, and well being. That can look like I'm available until 7 p.m., or I'll respond after I finish this assignment, or I can help, but not today. These are simple statements, but they create clarity for both you and the people around you. Many graduate students struggle with boundaries because we are used to being available to our jobs, our families, and classmates, and sometimes even to ourselves. But without boundaries, everything can start to overlap, and it becomes harder to focus and rest. A helpful approach is to start small. Choose one boundary you can realistically maintain this week. Maybe it's not checking emails for a certain amount of time, or not taking on extra tasks when you're already stretched thin. Communicate it clearly and kindly. Clear communication reduces stress and helps you stay consistent. Boundaries are a skill, and like any other skill, they get easier with practice. Another key part of balance is to prioritize. Not everything in your life requires equal attention, and not everything is equally urgent. Identifying your top priorities each week helps you focus on what truly matters and reduce overwhelm. A simple but powerful strategy is choosing your top 3 priorities for the week. These aren't your only tasks. They're the things that matter most right now. When you're clear on your priorities, it becomes easier to say no to things that don't align with them, and easier to let go of the guilt that comes with not doing everything at once. For example, a graduate student who is working full time and parenting might choose 3 priorities for the week, such as finishing a major paper, attending their child's school meeting, and completing required readings for an upcoming class discussion. This approach also helps you stay intentional. Instead of reacting to whatever comes up, you're making conscious choices about where your time and energy go. And remember, priorities can shift. What's important this week might not be important next week, and that is okay. Self-care is often misunderstood as something time-consuming and luxurious. But self-care is about small, consistent habits that support your well-being. For instance, stretching, drinking water, taking a 5-minute walk, deep breathing, or taking a short break between tasks. These micro practices are powerful because they're doable even on the busiest of days. You don't need an hour-long routine. You just need moments that help you reset your energy. Think of self-care as maintenance, not a reward. One helpful strategy is to pair a self-care habit with something you already do. For example, every time you sit down to study, take 3 deep breaths first. Or every time you finish a task, stand up and stretch. These tiny actions add up, and over time, they can help you stay grounded and prevent burnout. Using technology wisely. Technology can be an incredible support system, or it can be a major distraction. The key is using it intentionally. Using tools like Google Calendar, reminders, Notion, Trello, and time blocking apps can help you stay organized, remember deadlines, and structure your day. But the important thing is choosing one or two tools that genuinely help you, not overwhelming yourself with too many systems. Sometimes students feel pressure to adopt every productivity app out there, but that often creates more stress. You can ask yourself, what do I actually need? A calendar, a reminder system, a place to track assignments? Start with the simplest tool that meets your needs. And remember, the goal isn't to be perfectly organized. It's to create a routine that supports you. The importance of embracing imperfection. Balance is not a perfect or static state. Some weeks will feel smooth and others will feel chaotic, and that is completely normal. This reminds us that giving yourself flexibility reduces pressure and helps you stay grounded. When we expect ourselves to do everything flawlessly, we set ourselves up for frustration. But when we allow room for imperfection, we create space for compassion and adaptability. For example, a graduate student might plan to finish all their readings, complete a discussion post, cook dinner, and clean the apartment in one evening. When everything doesn't go perfectly, maybe the reading takes longer than expected, or their child needs help with homework, they might normally feel frustrated or like they failed. But if they allow room for imperfection, they can adjust by focusing on the most important tasks for the night and postponing the rest without guilt. This flexibility can help them stay calm, realistic, and emotionally grounded. This reminds us that giving ourselves flexibility reduces pressure and helps you stay grounded. When we expect ourselves to do everything flawlessly, we set ourselves up for frustration. But when we allow room for imperfection, we create space for compassion and adaptability. Think of balance as a practice, not a destination. You're learning, adjusting, and responding to what life brings you. And that is enough. Your balance checklist. This checklist is a practical tool you can use every week to check in with yourself. It covers priorities, boundaries, breaks, self-care, organization, and reflection, all the core elements of balance. Start by identifying your top 3 priorities. Then ask yourself what boundary you can set to protect your time or energy. For example, what is one boundary I can set? And who do I need to communicate this boundary to? Next, look at breaks. Are you taking short pauses during the day? What's one small break you can build into your routine today? Then choose one self-care habit for the week. Something realistic, like drinking more water or getting more sleep. Finally, reflecting. Reflect. How did this week feel overall? Overwhelming, manageable, or balanced? What's one thing you want to keep and one thing you want to adjust? This checklist helps you stay intentional and prevents stress from building unnoticed. The importance of accountability. Accountability is a powerful support system, and it doesn't have to be formal. An accountability partner can be a coworker, a friend, a classmate, a study partner, or a mentor. Checking in with someone helps you stay consistent and feel less alone in the process. Accountability can be as simple as texting someone your weekly schedule, studying together, or sharing progress at the end of the week. It's not about pressure, it's about encouragement. Accountability doesn't need to be formal. It's a simple way to stay grounded and encouraged. When you have someone walking alongside you, even informally, it becomes easier to maintain balance and follow through on your intentions. The following resources include a list of research-based and evidence-informed resources that support the ideas we've discussed today. These include organizations like the National Institute of Mental Health, the American College Health Association, and the CDC, as well as authors like Brene Brown and Stephen Covey. These resources offer deeper insight into stress, boundaries, and productivity and well being. You don't need to explore all of them, but think of this as a menu. If a particular topic resonated with you today, you can use this list to learn more. Remember, the goal is not to add more to your plate, but to give you options for continued support and learning. And finally, as we wrap up, I want to leave you with a few key reminders. Balance is personal and always evolving. What works for you today might not work for you next month, and that's okay. You are not the issue. External pressures like work, school, and family responsibilities make balancing challenging. Boundaries help. Your time and energy and small habits practiced consistently can make a meaningful difference. You also don't have to do this alone. Support and accountability can help you stay grounded. You can start this week with a simple plan. Pick your top 3 priorities, set one boundary, choose one small self-care habit, use one planning tool, reflect at the end of the week. These small steps can create momentum. You deserve routines that support your well-being, not just your productivity. Thank you for watching this webinar. I hope these ideas help you reflect on what balance means for you and how you can move toward a routine that feels sustainable for you. Please reach out to Counseling and Wellness Services if you would like more support finding balance in your life by emailing us at counseling@sph.cuny.edu. May you find balance that feels sustainable and true to your life. Thank you.